Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Mark Fernicola. I'm here today at my shop, Bernie's Barbershop in Woodbridge, Connecticut, and just wanted to introduce myself to everybody out there. I've been cutting hair for about 10 years. I started cutting hair when I was 28 years old. I went to Academy di Capelli in Wallingford, Connecticut. Besides that, I also apprenticed at my uncle's barbershop in North Haven, Gerardo's Modern Barbershop, where I learned alongside my cousins Dino and Claudio, who respectively, between the three of them, has been teaching barbering for about 100 years. So definitely learned big facts and big gems from those guys. And I definitely would not be here without any of my teachers or my family to teach me the craft of barbering. A little bit about me: I got into barbering. I was always intrigued by it. I would be a little kid and go to my uncle's barbershop like every 2 weeks with my dad, go get my hair cut. And it was this scene back then in North Haven. You walk in, room full of old Italian guys. Everyone's like smoking cigarettes and cigars and taking their Dunkin' Donuts cup, pouring Sambuca in there. When my cousins were little, like they'd go next door to Dunkin' Donuts, go get donuts, bring them back to the shop, pass them out to everybody. People like tip them $1 for going to go get them. It was a scene, and at the time my uncle was just by himself. My cousins weren't old enough to work yet, so if you got there on a Saturday at like 7 o'clock, you wouldn't be home until like 1 or 2, just because you had to wait. And it was always just kind of funny because my mom was always just like oh my god, you guys smell like a bar and whatnot. It reeked of like cigarettes and booze, and then besides gel and talc and all that other good stuff. So definitely a different scene. But I just always remember just being a little kid and just being like, who the hell would want to do that? You're on your feet all day. You got to talk to everybody. You got, this room full of guys like breaking your balls because, you're taking too long on a haircut. Then the chair gets leaned back. Guys are getting shaved and stuff. You're like, here we go. Here goes another hour. Just so crazy. And I never thought of it as a career up until I kind of hit a crossroads professionally and personally. About 10 years ago, and then I was just like, hey, you know what? I think I want to be a barber. And a lot of people were just kind of like, barber? Really? Like, wasn't the cool thing to do, back then. And it's funny now because all those people are actually coming for haircuts, and, it all kind of worked out pretty well. Another cool thing too is like a lot of my friends and, people that I went to school with, in North Haven, there was like 3 barbershops that you could go to. So chances are you probably went to my uncle's barbershop. And it's so reaffirming to me to hear everybody who comes in and is just like, oh my God, dude, like you cut the exact same way as your uncle and your cousins. And it's awesome because it's like a total flashback to when, we were kids or when I was bringing my kids in for haircuts. And it just feels like it's still like that Gerardo's experience. And that, to me, is everything. That means I'm doing my job right and paying homage to the guys that taught me, my trade. And, it's cool. It's cool to keep the family tradition going and all that stuff. And, if and when, I have kids, hopefully the same thing. They want to take up being a barber as well. To me, this is the best decision I ever made in my life, and I could tell you a lot of bad decisions, but being a barber is definitely not one of them. This is the most fulfilling and rewarding thing I've ever done with my life, in my life, and I can tell you guys honestly, it's a fun job. It's not an easy job, but it's definitely a fun job, and it's a fulfilling job as well. For all you new cats out there, being a barber is not just about, oh, I got like the crispest fade or like, the cleanest edge ups or anything like that, It's not about that. It's about taking care of your people. It's about building relationships. It's about everything that has to do with just being selfless, not selfish, selfless. It's not about you. It's not about me. It's not about anyone that cuts hair. It's about your clients, and it's about keeping your clients happy, listening to their problems, kind of offering advice. I always joke around in here, decent haircuts and probably worse marriage advice, But all jokes aside, again, you're here to take care of people. And as long as you take care of your people, they will absolutely take care of you. Take care of your craft, your craft will definitely take care of you tenfold, you know. And it's about paying homage to everyone that came before us and all the things that, you know, people did and learned and whatnot. You know, being a barber nowadays, you have endless knowledge at your literal fingertips, you know, with your phones, YouTube, internet, whatever, Instagram, all that stuff, TikTok. You know, there is literally no excuse to be like, oh, I don't know how to do that, or oh, I don't know how to do, you know, this or whatever like that. You know, it's all about taking care of our craft and propelling it forward into the future, because, you know, when I started cutting hair, like I said, it wasn't the cool thing to do, you know. We obviously had the height of the popularity, you know, about probably 7, 8 years ago, with, you know, the rise of, like, you know, Schwarm, Barbier, over in Rotterdam, you know, Hollywood's in California, you know, a bunch of other, like, kind of retro shops that popped up, and guys were, you know, looking really good, feeling really good. Haircuts were very polished at that point. Everyone was dressing like the 20s and stuff, you know. Now it's kind of come to the point where we still got the haircuts, the fashion side of it has kind of died out a little bit. And I kind of feel like that kind of slump is sort of coming again, but at the same time, there was also a resurgence, you know. A couple of years ago, people were coming out of the woodworks to become barbers. Nowadays, I think there's still a lot, but it's definitely a lot less, you know. But hopefully, again, we just kind of get this whole resurgence, and old school is cool, and more people come into the craft and whatnot. So one of the things I want to do with this channel is, you know, inspire new barbers, you know, kind of, hey, this is what you got to look forward to and whatnot. As seasoned barbers listening to this, maybe hopefully you reminisce and just kind of be like, oh yeah, I remember that, you know. And then overall, just in general, just want to kind of just spread as much positivity and as much just kind of wealth of knowledge that I have that's out there with everybody. So that being said, like, you know, I just wanted to introduce myself and welcome to my channel. And yeah, I guess that's kind of about it, guys. So I'm gonna stop yapping now. I gotta start getting ready for clients coming in and whatnot. But welcome, and yeah, let the good times roll. Take care, y'all.